Yes, we are going to start the session now. So, in this session, we are going to study the summaries of alternating current. In this lesson, like we are having so many formulas, and which will be very important when you are going for your NEET exam as well. Let us recall all the summary of the formulas first, then we can solve the need past paper question. Okay, first we are going to study what is mean by alternating EMF and alternating current. It's known that alternating EMF is that the EMF which continuously changes in magnitude and periodically reverse its direction. It's like similar to the alternating current only, but in the case of alternating current, we will talk about the current which continuously change in the magnitude based on the given direction. Usually, the alternating current will be represented using a sine wave. It's known that, and the value of EMF can be represented using a formula E is equal E naught sine omega t. In a similar way, the current can be written as I is equal I naught sine omega t. Now, we are going to see what will happen to the value of EMF and the current when they are in a opposite phase. So here it is starting with 0, but here it is starting with a maximum value. So that time we can say the value of the EMF will be in terms of cos theta and the current is also in terms of cos theta. Now, here, the value of E and I is representing the instantaneous value of EMF and current, whereas E naught and I naught is representing the peak or maximum value of the amplitude and the current, whereas omega is representing the angular frequency and T is representing the time. So usually the graph of a alternating current and the alternating voltage and the alternating EMF will be represented using a graph of omega t and the maximum values, or as we can say the instantaneous value of EMF and the current. Now we are going to see how the symbol of a AC source is. So this is the symbol of AC source. So here we are going to study about the average or mean value of a alternating current. So it's known that the mean value or the average value can be calculated for the half cycle of the circle, half cycle of the given current, because it's known that whenever we are calculating the alternating current, if we are going to calculate for the whole cycle, it will be cancel out and we will not get any value. So here the average or a mean value of alternating current over a half cycle is that steady current which will send the same amount of charge in a circuit in the time of half cycle as is sent by the given alternating current in a same circuit in a same time, whereas the mean value can be written as IA, V or else Im. The maximum current or else the average value is equal Q divided by T over T. In terms of current, it can be written as I naught divided by pi. Whereas I naught, or else we can write the 2 over pi is equal 0.637 also. In terms of percentage, it can be written as 63.7% in terms of I naught. Now we are going to see what is mean by average or mean value of alternating EMF. The alternate EMF is can be written as EM or E average is equal to E naught divided by pi. So here the average or mean value of alternating or EMF is 0 over a cycle, as the positive and negative values are get cancelled. This is what I said in the initial as well. Now we are going to study about the root mean square value or else virtual value, or as we can say effective value of alternating current. It's known that root mean square value of a alternating current is that steady current which would produce the same heat in a given resistance in a given time as it produced by the given alternating current in the same resistance in a same time. Whereas the value of root mean square value of a current can be written as maximum value divided by root. So here we can write this as 0.707 times I naught as well. Similarly, the root mean square value of the alternating EMF can be written as E naught divided by root 2, whereas E naught here is representing the maximum value of the EMF. So keep it in a mind. The square value of alternating current or EMF can be calculated over any period of cycle since it based on heat energy produced. Do not use the above formula if the time interval under the consideration is less than one period. So please keep these two things. So here we are going to study about the relative value peak, virtual value and the mean value of alternating EMF. So it's known that the value of relative peak value or else the average value can be calculated using the formula EM is equal E average is equal 0.637 times E naught. So here you have to keep two things in mind. First one, when the given value of alternating EMF or current are virtual values unless otherwise specified. For example, for AC value, we can keep always the RMS value, effective value, E value, or else the maximum peak values as 230 volt. And it's known that AC ammeter and AC voltmeter read the RMS value of alternating current and voltage respectively. They are also called as hardwired meters. The third one, you have to keep it in mind. The scale of DC meter is linearly graduated, whereas the scale of AC meter is not evenly graduated because of H is directly proportional to L square. I said already, when the current is passing, it will produce the heat. So from that only we are writing this. Now, the next one we are going to study here is about the AC circuit with a pure resistor. So in the case of connection of AC circuit, we will have different combination. So the first one, you have to know about what will happen to the AC circuit when there is pure resistor or connector. Here, as I said already, the value of EMF in general can be calculated using a formula E is equal E naught sine omega t. And the value of current can be calculated using a formula I is equal I naught sine omega t. Whereas I naught here is representing the E naught divided by R. Whereas R here is representing the E naught times R naught. So EMF and current will be same in a phase when the resistance is connected in a series connection. Now, this is the graph which will be used to represent the relation between the current and the EMF. So now I'm going to see you the value of voltage or as we can say EMF current when the pure inductor was connected in a series. So here we can say the value of the EMF and then the current in the case of inductor circuit will be equal to I is equal I naught sine omega t minus pi over 2. So here we can say the current lags behind the EMF by pi over 2 radians. And here whenever we are having the inductor in a circuit, we have to make sure either we included the inductance or else inductive reactance or no. So here XL is used to represent the next one. In the next one, we are going to study what will happen the current when the capacitor is connected in a series in a IAC circuit. So here it's known that the capacitor is a device which is used to store the energy, whereas the value of EMF in general can be calculated using a formula E naught is equal sine omega t, whereas I is equal I naught sine omega t plus pi over 2. So here also we have to include about the capacitive reactance. In the case of capacitive reaction, it's just representing the value of how the capacitance can be. So here we are going to see like how we are going to apply all these values in a circuit as well, right? So first let us complete the formulas. So here, as I said, we will use the capacitor formula as like XC I naught is equal to omega t plus pi over 2. So which is nothing but the reactance from the capacitor. So here we will use the formula to calculate the capacitance is 1 over divided by omega divided by C. See, omega here is representing the angular frequency. C is representing the value of capacitance. So here again I'm going to show you the value of the EMF EMF, which is nothing but which is used to represent the value of EMF, right? So here I just show the diagrams and like I'm just showed the relation between I naught and E naught. Here they will have the angle of 90. So here we can say current leads the EMF by 90-degree radians or else 90 radians. Okay. Now we are going to see what will happen to the value of frequency. So variation of XL with frequency. XL here is representing the value of inductance from the inductor, like reactance from the inductor, right? So the formula for that is omega L. And here in terms of frequency, it can be written as 2 pi f times L. So here we can say the value of inductive reactance is directly proportional to the F. Similarly, the value of Xc can be written as 1 divided by omega C. So here Xc is representing the inductive reactance, or else we can say the reactance from the capacitor. So here also we are just going to apply the formula omega is equal 2 pi f. So here I just show the diagram of the relation between the reactance from the inductance and the reactance of a capacitance with respect to the frequency. So it will be useful when you are going for your final exam. Let me show you the next one. So here, as I said already, keep it in mind when they are representing the inductance, it cannot decrease direct current. It only decrease in the case of alternating current. In the case of capacitance, we can say it will allow the AC to flow through it but blocks DC. So now we are going to see what will happen when LCR everything in a series combination. So before we just studied what will happen to the current and the EMF when the resistor is alone connected, when the capacitor is alone connected, when the inductor is alone connected. Now we are going to study what will happen to the value when everything was connected in a series connection. So here the current and the voltage and the resistance will be in a phase, whereas the inductance, or else we can say the inductor value and the current lags behind the voltage of pi over 2. Okay, so here I just show the diagram and I show the relation between the current and the reactance and the EMF. So here Z is representing the total circuit impedance. Okay, so now in terms of omega, it can be written as omega L minus 1 over omega C whole power 2 plus R2 is equal reactance. So I'm just going to keep this screen for 5 minutes. You people can note this down and we can go to the next slide. Yes, now we are moving for the tan theta, like how we have to represent the angle. Now, I just show the special cases like when the value of XL is greater than XC, when the XL is less than XC, when XL is equal XC. So here you can note all these cases. It will be very helpful when you are going for your final exam. Okay, so now the next one we are going to study what will happen to the value of resonance in terms of LCR circuit. So here, when the XL is equal XC, which means the omega L is equal 1 over omega C, it's known that the value of angle will be equal to 0. So here we can say the value of the total impedance or as the total reactance in a circuit will becomes minimal, or we can say it will be equal to R. Whereas the value of current will becomes as E over R, which means the impedance offered by the circuit is minimum and the current is maximum. This condition is called as resonant condition of LCR circuit, and the frequency is called resonant frequency. Right now, I just show the diagram here for the relation between the I naught and omega as well. Okay, now so here I represent the values of maximum current, and here we are going to study what is will happen to the value of Q factor and the bandwidth. So quality factor or a Q factor is defined as the ratio of resonant frequency to the bandwidth, and the value of Q can be calculated using a formula omega r divided by 2 del omega. So it can also be defined as the ratio of potential drop across either the inductance or the capacitance to the potential drop across the resistance. So this is the value of Q factors. Now we are going to see how we can write in terms of omega. So omega can be written like Q in terms of omega can be written as omega r L divided by R. In terms of C, it can be written as 1 divided by omega r C divided by R. Now, what will happen to the value of power? It's known that if the instantaneous power is assumed to be constant for an infinitely small time, then the work done will be equal to E naught I naught cos pi times T over 2. So here the average power can be written as EV times IV times cos pi. So here cos pi is representing the ratio of resistance to the impedance. So this is also called as power factor. So now we are just going to see what will happen to the power in a AC circuit with R, L and together. So here in the case of R circuit, or else we can say when the circuit is having only the resistor, the power will be equal to E times V. So here next we are going to study what will happen to the value of the power in the AC circuit with the capacitance. So here also the power will be zero. So keep it in mind whenever the circuit is having only the R, that time only we will have the power. The circuit is having the inductor or else the capacitor alone, which means the power will be zero. So now, what will happen to the value of LC oscillation? When the circuit is having the capacitance and the inductor, the value of the internal energy and the value of power E of current will get varied. So here I just showed you the diagrams of different types. Now, so the damped oscillation, undamped oscillation. Just show you the diagram. So So here we can say the final equation represents the simple harmonic electric oscillation. It's known that in the case of simple harmonic motion, the acceleration will be directly proportional to the negative displacement as well. Now we are going to see what will happen in terms of transformer. It's known that transformer is a device which converts lower alternating voltage at higher current into higher alternating voltage at lower current. The principle of transformer is based on the mutual inductance. The formula for calculating the efficiency of a transformer is ES times IS time divided by EP times IP. So here in terms of number of turns, this equation usually we will use it. In terms of current, we will use this expression. Now, what is meant by step up transformer and step down transformer? Yes, it's known that when the transformer is increasing the given voltage, and if it is step up in the given current or the given voltage, which means that is step up transformer, and this is the condition. In the case of step down transformer, it is reverse. It's known, right? And in the case of number of turns, we can say the number of turns in a secondary coil will be maximum compared to the primary coil. In terms of step up transformer, it will be opposite to the step down, right? Now, what will happen to the energy loss in terms of transformer? Energy loss in a transformer is because of two things. One is copper loss, second one is flux loss. So The copper loss can be avoided by using a thick wires for winding. In the case of flux loss, we can say it can be minimized by winding the coils over and another. Now, the third one is the iron loss. Because of the iron loss, we will have two things. The first one is the eddy current loss and the hysteresis loss. Eddy current loss is nothing but when a changing magnetic field is linked with an iron core, eddy currents are set up which turns to produce a heat and energy waste. In the case of hysteresis loss, we can say when alternating current is passed, the iron core is magnetized and demagnetized repeatedly over the cycle and some energy is being lost. So both can be minimized by using a suitable material. And the fourth loss here is because of the vibration of core. So some electrical energy is lost in the form of mechanical energy due to vibration of a core and humming noise due to magnetostriction effect. So now I hope you people studied about the AC generator and its like principle, and here I just show the AC generator and the time number, right? Now, the principle based on the AC generator is nothing but the electromagnetic induction. And here I just show the working. I hope you people know all the things. So I'm just keeping all the things here only. So I'm just mentioning the value of EM. Okay. So now, so we completed the alternating current. So I hope you people understand everything. So now you can recall all the things. I will give you 5 minutes. You can like we can solve the past paper questions. So here we are going to solve the question as I said. So try this question. This question is about calculating the voltage and the amp. It's given in the question a transformer is having an efficiency of 90%, is working on 200 volt and 3 kilowatt power supply. If the current in a secondary coil is 6 ampere, across the secondary coil and the current in a primary coil respectively what? So here we can calculate the question. So here we can calculate the value of primary coil current by using the formula of the power in terms of voltage and current. So here it's known that the value of power in will be equal to IP times VP, whereas P here is representing the primary coil. So from this we can write the value of IP three 3000 divided by the voltage into of IP here will be 15 ampere. Now we have to calculate the voltage. So here we can calculate the value of voltage by using a relation between the efficiency, which is nothing but power input divided by power output divided by power input, which is also equal to Vs times Is divided by Vp times Ip. Now we can apply the value. So here we have a value of power output and input. So which is 90 divided by 100 is equal 6 times Vs divided by 3000, because Vp times Ip is representing the power, right? Power input. So we are writing 3000. So when we are simplifying this, we will get Vs is equal 90 times 3000 divided by 6 times 100. When we are simplifying this, we will get the value of 450 volt. So the value of voltage is 450 and the current is 15. So the correct answer here is option B. Now we are moving for the second question. Try to solve this question. I am waiting in the comment box. Like you people can first let me know like which formula we have to use to solve this question. Yes, very good. So here we are just going to use the formula for frequency. F is equal 1 divided by 2 pi root of LC. And in the case of Q factor, we can write Q is equal 1 divided by R times root of L divided by C. Now we are going to apply the values in each formula, and then we are going to calculate the Q. So when we are applying the option A values in the formula of Q, we will get the value of Q is equal 22.8. In the case of option B, if we are applying, the value of Q will be equal to 7.28. Similarly, when we are applying the option C, we will get the answer of 10.35. When we are applying option D, we will get answer as 9.4. So when we are comparing all the values, we can say option A is giving the correct maximum value. So the correct answer here will be option A. Let me show you the next question. Here the question is about the power factor. So you people can tell me like which formula we have to use it. Yes, very good. Yeah, it is 0. Correct answer here is 0. 0.8. It's based on the formula cos pi, the power factor is equal VR divided by V total. So here we don't have a V total. First we have to calculate the V total. It's given in the question the value of resistance voltage in a resistor is 80 volt, right? So we have VR, but we need V total. So V total can be calculated using a formula of the overall resistance square plus the value of the corresponding. So just you can try it. I will wait for your answer first. Yeah, I show you the answer, right? Yes, again here we are going to calculate the value of V total by using a Z formula, impedance formula, right? So Z, the VZ can be calculated using a formula like 80 square plus 100 minus 40 square here. Because it's known that the value of Z, the impedance can be calculated using a formula root of VR square plus V L minus VC whole power 2, right? So if we are applying the value, we will get the value of Z as 100 ohm. So now we have a value of the Z. So from this, we can calculate the value of the VT. VT here is nothing but the value of VR square plus the value of impedance square. So which will be give the value 100, right? So now we have Vt and Vr. So we can write cos pi is equal 80 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.8. So that's why the correct answer here is option A. Now solve this question, try this question. Yes, very good. So the formula for calculating the VRMS is nothing but root of VR square plus VL minus VC whole power 2, right? So here we have the corresponding values VR, VL, VC. So we can apply the value. So which is 40 square plus 40 minus 10 whole power 2. So when we are simplifying this, we will get the value of 50 volt. So here the question is about the impedance, which is nothing but VRMS divided by IRMS, right? So here we calculated 50 and the value of IRMS is given as 10 ampere. When we are solving, we will get the value of 5 ohm. Yes, so the correct answer here is option A.